Hello and welcome to the Absolute Beginner Guitar Lesson Series. My name is Oliver and today's lesson is lesson number 12. So the subject of today's lesson is root note E string major chord fingerings. And that sounds like a mouthful, but I'll get into explaining it and I think you'll be able to follow along quite well. Of course, there's a few parameters that we need to set up here. And the first parameter is that we're only going to be using the first three strings of the guitar. So we'll be using the E string, the B string, and the G string. The root notes of all these major chords will be found on the E string. All of the root notes of these major chords will be found in the C major scale. This won't be a set of scale tone chords. This will just be a method for us to learn how to play these major chords using notes, familiar root notes, because we've been working with the C major scale. The first chord we're going to learn is the E major chord. And the E note, our E root note, is an open string. So this is going to be an open string fingering. And what we're going to play is we're going to have the root note, the E, played open on the E string. And then as far as what we're going to do on the G string, what I want you to do on the G string is I want you to take your index finger and I want you to place it on the first fret of the G string. So we have that note at the first fret on the G string. And on the B string, I want you to play the B string open. So we have, starting with the G string, we have that note at the first fret of the G string, played with our index finger, the open B string, and the open E string. That is our E major chord. So it's a pretty simple fingering. The main thing we need to remember is that the root note is the open E string, and that we need to put that first finger down on the first fret of the G string. So that is our E major chord. So from here we're just going to keep moving along in the scale. So the next note is F. So we want to play the F major chord. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our first finger and we're going to lay it down in such a way that it covers both the B string and the E string at the first fret. So now we have our root note F on the E string, and we have the note at the first fret on the B string. And we're playing these both together with our index finger. Now this may take some practice for you to sort of try to figure out where you need to lay your hand. And I just want to give you a tip when you're playing. You don't want to have a lot of tension, and you don't want to feel like you're having to press hard, because you don't have to press hard to get a good sound. The secret is to find the right amount of pressure that you need. So anyway, we're playing the notes at the first fret of the E string, which is our root note, and also at the first fret of the B string. So now let's look at the note we're going to play on the G string. The note we're going to play on the G string will be up one fret higher than the notes on the E and B strings. So what we're going to do is we're going to reach up with our middle finger and we're going to play the note at the second fret on the G string. And this is our F major chord. So this is our F major chord. And this is a closed fingering, so it is a movable chord. So this establishes our movable chord. So what we have here is we have two chord forms that we need to learn. So from here, all we have to do is move our form in such a way that we maintain the relationship between the notes. and also move them such that the root note of the chord, the major chord that we want to play, is underneath our index finger on the E string. When we come back, I'm going to show you some fingerings to play minor chords whose root notes are on the E string. So put in your time, put in your work, and I hope to see you at the next lesson. Peace.